Welcome back. We're in Daniel chapter 3. Let's just jump right into it. We just got off of Daniel being basically like a second, or maybe not second in command, but a very high up prefect over Babylon. He's got the boys with him. They're high officials in Babylon. And now, sometime later, Nebuchadnezzar's feeling himself. Let's go. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold. This is probably after his vision, right? And he's probably like, I am that guy at gold. I am the gold head. The height of which was 60 cubits, and its width 6 cubits. He set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar sent word to assemble the satraps, the prefects, the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the satraps, the prefects, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the rulers of the provinces were assembled for the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, "To you the command is given, O peoples, nations, and men of every language, that the moment you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the lyre, the trigon, the psaltery, the bagpipe, and all kinds of music, you are to fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. But whoever does not fall down and worship shall immediately be cast into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire." Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the horn, the flute, the lyre, the trigon, the psaltery, the bagpipe, and all kinds of music, all the peoples, nations, and men of every language fell down and worshipped the golden image that that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Man, they are repetitive. For this reason, at that time, certain Chaldeans came forward and brought charges against the Jews. They responded and said to Nebuchadnezzar the king, "O king, live forever. You, O king, have made a decree that every man who hears the horn, the flute, the lyre, the trigon, the psaltery, and the bagpipe, and all the kinds of music is to fall down and worship the golden image. But whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire. There are certain Jews whom you have appointed over the administration of the province of Babylon, namely Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have disregarded you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image which you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar, in a rage and anger, gave orders to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then these men were brought before the king. Nebuchadnezzar responded and said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image that I have set up? Now, if you are ready, at the moment you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the lyre, the trigon, the psaltery, the bagpipe, and all kinds of music, to fall down and worship the image that I have made, very well. But if you do not worship, you will immediately be cast into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire. And what God is there who can deliver you out of my hand?" Dude's talking some game. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to give you an answer concerning this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the furnace of blazing fire, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But even if he does not, let it be known to you, O king, that we are not going to serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with wrath, and his facial expressions altered toward Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He answered by giving orders to heat the furnace 7 times more than it was usually heated. He commanded certain valiant warriors who were in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. in order to cast them into the furnace of blazing fire. Then these men were tied up in their trousers, their coats, their caps, and their other clothes, and were cast into the midst of the blazing fire. For this reason, because the king's command was so urgent, the furnace had been made extremely hot. The flame of the fire slew the men who carried Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Oh, sorry, I thought there was more to that sentence. But these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell into the midst of the furnace of blazing fire, still tied up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astounded and stood up in haste. He said to his high officials, "Was it not three men we cast bound into the midst of the fire?" And he replied, "Certainly, O king." He said, "Look, I see four men loosed and walking around about in the midst of the fire without harm. And the appearance of the fourth is like a son of the gods." Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the door of the furnace of the blazing fire, and he responded and said, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come out, you servants of the Most High God, and come here." And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the midst of the fire. The satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the high officials gathered around and saw in regard to these men that the fire had no effect on their bodies. On the bodies of these men, nor was the hair of their head singed, nor were their trousers damaged, nor had the smell of fire even come upon them. Nebuchadnezzar responded and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who put their trust in him, violating the king's command, and yielded up their bodies so as not to serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree that any people, nation, or tongue that speaks anything offensive against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb from limb, and their houses reduced to a rubbish heap, inasmuch as there is no other God who is able to deliver in this way." Then the king caused Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to prosper in the province of Babylon. Once again, Nebuchadnezzar is sharp. Nebuchadnezzar is sharp. There is no other God who can deliver in this way. Behold, your God is a God of gods. Couldn't be more right. Couldn't be more correct. There is no God like ours. No other name worthy of all of our praise. So, again, another straightforward kind of story. He makes this statue. Everybody's supposed to bow down to it. These guys don't. And what's really, 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 really important about this story, I guess even probably more important than God actually delivering them, is the attitude that they have going into the flame. They go, "Listen, we don't even need to reply to you. We're not going to do the whole thing of, okay, you can blast the horn and the train. No, throw us into the fire. Our God can deliver us from your hand. And even if he doesn't, let it be known, we will not worship your God." I mean, these guys were just down for it. They were just down for it. They weren't fighting. They weren't protesting. They weren't nothing. But it's not fair. But no. Throw us in the fire. Our God can save us. And even if he doesn't, we will not worship your God. Dang, these guys are cool, man. Man, they're cool. That's the kind of attitudes we have to have as Christ followers, as Christians. God does not owe us saving. He doesn't owe it to us. He can, but he doesn't owe it to us. Just because you did good, just because you whatever, he doesn't owe you anything. Right? Stephen, I don't know why I said Seth, that's Adam's son. Stephen, the first martyr, had the same kind of flex in Acts, I believe it was. He is like, they're ready to stone him. And he says, before you stone me, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm not going to recant. And on top of that, I'm going to fully explain just how wrong you guys are. I'm standing on business. I'm down for it. He, in fact, does not get saved, though. He's stoned to death. Pretty hard way to go. But he's down for it. These guys, down for it. And that's that thing. Like, they could have gotten absolutely burnt to a crisp. And this is another cool thing here, too, is when God does a miracle, he does it all the way. It's one of the telltale signs of a miracle. When he does it all the way. When he parts the sea, they're on dry land. And they get all the way through. Right? When these guys go into the flames, there's no indicator they were even in the flame. Nothing is singed. They're not hot. They don't smell like fire, like smoke, or nothing. There's no indicator they were even in the flames at all. It's like it didn't happen. When God protects you, he protects you all the way. When he performs a miracle, it's all the way. When he intervenes through and through, all the way. That's just how he operates. So this becomes important later. But we'll get into that another time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Read your Bible.